right. Welcome again to Bokeh and Mocha, another test stream of your friendly coffee and photography aficionados. Not experts, I guess, but getting there, of course. My name, of course, is Griff, joined on the other opposite chair with Jen. And then over at our main controls, of course, is Christopher as well. As soon as he is able to hit that button and say hi to everybody. We're still, of course, doing our test stream to work out some kinks before we go fully live and fully recorded and fully uploaded, of course. But if you're popping in on our test stream, welcome in and thank you for joining us, all of you camera and coffee lovers out there. And with this being a test stream, we have no set topic that we're going to be talking about at all. We're just again trying to work out some kinks and get into it. But what have you guys been up to photography wise for the past week or so since we last did our last one?
Oh, I took a couple photos of my dogs the other day when they were doing some weird stuff.
Mhm.
I got a picture of both of them playing the other day, and it was midway through one of them trying to bite the other, and so she looks like a demon just possessed her. But there's that, and then I got a pretty decent photo of my hedgehog, even though she's not photogenic, but she's also just a little hermit, like her mother sometimes. So
Yeah.
But
Okay, so that photo of your dog, so probably high shutter speed to capture that in motion with very little motion blur and everything. How are you adjusting to the lighting triangle of photography? For those of you who are fairly new, Jen is within her first year of learning the trade of photography. So, and one of the core elements, of course, is the lighting triangle, if you will. And
it was pretty difficult to get my settings to actually function properly because for some reason my lights in my house were not adequate, but I managed to get my settings in the right area and frame to be able to get a good one. I'll have to see if I can find it later today on my camera. I mean, my camera's been in use very, very little so far.
I have done a no. I'm still shooting on full manual, but that's with an asterisk, if you will, because I do auto ISO. I know that's a big controversial topic, but I don't know. Like I like dialing in my shutter speed and my aperture, but I let the ISO do its thing because, in all honesty, especially as a street photographer, a little bit of grain is fine. A little bit of noise is fine.
Yep.
It kind of adds to, and we'll probably talk into this a little bit more on the street photography kind of thing because the noise kind of adds a little bit to the vintage feel of it. Now you can still have too much noise,
of course.
Yeah, but we'll probably get into that a little bit there. But Chris, what have you been up to on the in the week since our last filming?
Well, mainly I've been working on trying to get all of this going. Sorry, I'm still trying to get my microphone to work. There it goes.
It's still photography related.
Yeah. I've been working on that, and pretty much we're doing a lot of programming. For those who are on the stream, you notice that our overlays aren't working. We had them working up until about like a minute before we started.
More like 10-15 minutes or so, give or take. And then there's about 10-15 minutes of troubleshooting. And it's like, that O'Reilly clip, we'll just do it live.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still trying to get a lot of that figured out. I know that it's not easy.
We love technology until it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course my microphone is not picking up as much as I'd want, so I keep having to adjust. But then I have to pull it away. There we go.
The struggle of life.
Yeah.
The struggle of
life. That's why we're doing these test streams, of course. So.
Yes, but no. So that's pretty much what I've been doing.
Yeah. I sent you guys the photos when I got them done, of course. But I I went on a little. President's Day was on Monday, and
Mhm.
the kids were out of school. So after I got off of my main job, if you will, I went and picked them up and took them out to local landmark Monument Rocks. But I say local, it's about 2 miles away or 2 hours away, I
Two
should say.
miles.
Yeah, if only it was 2 miles away, 2 hours away. But took the boys out there and did a little bit of photography, and yeah, that's a result right there. I'm very pleased with that one.
And that is a really pretty photo.
Yeah. Now,
Even with that cloud cover and
mhm,
the sun shining through, that just makes it even more perfect with all the shadows and you can see all the depth.
mhm, yeah, and that one was taken. I believe that particular one was taken on my. I think I was using either my 24 or my 18 on that one. I don't 100% remember off the top of my head, but because I shoot in primes, that's why I
Mm-hmm.
shoot mostly is in prime lenses. I do have one zoom that I got specifically to try and do wildlife photography and sports photography as well. But as a street and a portrait photographer, I like my primes. That's it is what it is. Ooh, I like that little smaller action there and everything. Now here's a question for the both of you. Uh, can you guys tell what a main thing that I've done in Lightroom for this shot? What's a big tell for that? Chris probably has a better inkling than.
Did you sharpen?
I mean, yeah, of course. Most
Because
of the time.
I can see some noise up top in your clouds,
Hmm.
but that's okay because your main focal point is the rock itself.
Yeah.
Um, you messed with your colors a little bit,
Hmm?
white balance.
Not so much in the
Not really
white.
the white.
Not
Oh
so much
my,
in the white balance. What, Chris? Do you have any
yellow
thoughts on
balance.
what I did?
Too many buttons.
Hmm.
Um, honestly, no. The only thing I can think of is maybe just some coloring, but not too much.
So what I did in this one was I did a strong S curve on that. So a strong S
Okay.
curve. Then like talk a little bit more about it. We'll probably have an entire episode dedicated to the S curve on it. It doesn't work as well for portrait photography because it really darkens the contrast lines and the highlights and everything. But it works really well for landscape and architecture photography
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. The other thing that the other big probably no in landscape photography that I did was I isolated the sky, and I didn't swap it. I didn't swap the sky or anything. But what I did was I brought the contrast and exposure down on the sky to make the clouds appear a little bit more. So lowered the highlights and lowered the exposure on the sky there, and that's pretty much all I did on that one. Usually, whenever I approach Lightroom, I try to do as little as possible that I can. I try to get what I can in the
Moment.
well in the camera, I should say. And yeah, I mean, like the white balance was just set to auto or natural or whatever it is
Mm-hmm.
that I have for white balance there. And then all I did was just um, I think I like swapped it to cloudy in Lightroom just to because it was a cloudy day when I shot
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and yeah, that I'm very pleased with that one. That
S-
one's probably gonna
it
yeah
turned out beautiful.
yeah that one's probably gonna be a standout. The other thing I did was I did a little bit of street photography while I was out in this place too. There should be the UTV shot there. There was a couple there that was out. Enjoying the sites as well too. And what I did was when they were getting ready to go, I just kind of positioned myself in between that rock, and they drove around the rock, and I just put my shutter on multi-shot high speed and
Mm-hmm.
just snapped as they went through and picked one that that looked good. But same thing, like in I wasn't going for clarity on the people inside of it, so
Yeah.
that's why I hit it with the strong S curve again, and did the same thing with the sky there too. Just brought the exposure, isolated it, and brought the exposure down and the highlights down, and
I
that's what I
also
did.
love that in this photo it makes it look like it's got the however the heck you pronounce vignette.
Vignette.
Like the vignette.
I did hit heavy vignetting on that one too.
I do like that.
Yep, I did. That is. I didn't do that on that first one, but I did do it on the second one because I wanted to really bring in that focus on that.
It really brings like I've discovered whenever I've vignette a photo, if it's a good one to vignette,
Mhm.
it very much so brings your eyes to the center of the photo.
Mhm.
At least for me it does.
And we might have an episode on vignetting as well too, because how did they do vignetting like back in the day before
Mm-hmm.
Photoshop and Lightroom as well too. Like now you could just slap it on, and that was when I first started my photography journey. I was hitting that heavy vignetting as much as possible, trying to be an artist and whatnot. But I've dialed back on that, of course, because there's a time and a place for it
Yeah.
as well too. But I should possibly consider doing a polarizer on my landscape photo. Now that one right there was taken on my 100 to 500 because when I took this shot, I was trying to get like some close-ups of that rock cropping between the two,
Mm-hmm.
and I was also doing like there was a little bit of shooting that I was doing in the surrounding directions as well too, where it was. And I'm coming over a cold as well too, or that little bit of drainage, so you might hear me clear my nose a little bit. But so I was using that zoom for that as well too. The other thing that I was gunning for as well, because this was getting close to when the boys and I were leaving,
Mm-hmm.
was I slapped my zoom on because I have a white whale that I'm trying to get. I've been trying to get for 2 years, and it seems like they taunt me, but they never let me get them. And it's pheasants. And
Oh, yep.
driving down to this spot, I saw at least 4 of them come across the road. And so when we were getting ready to leave, I knew that I was going to probably run into a few more as well too. And sure enough, I had about 3 of them on the way out, and every single one of them, I would I would spot them way too late, where I would pull over and get out, and they would just either run to the brush or they would take off and um, end up like getting washed out in the landscape while I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to snag them. So they're
Leave it.
elusive to me.
Leave it to
Yeah.
pheasants.
Yeah. I live outside of town as well too, so I'm at that season where at least I'll see one like run across the road as I'm driving back
Oh,
as
yeah.
well too. And
And
they
it's I've seen pheasants, like male pheasants, and oh my goodness,
Mhm.
they're a majestical bird.
Mhm.
So when you do get a picture of them, they're just so interesting to
Mhm.
look at.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that was your adventure.
That was my adventure.
That's a good adventure.
Yeah.
I know that it's kind of odd for me not being talking as much as we did before, but if anyone could actually see my screen, I I have a lot going on over here.
Yeah.
As we did our test, we're doing YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and we're talking to Twitch, but Twitch keeps dropping us. So we're hoping to, as I'm tweaking it as we're going. So we're hoping for that. But
Do we have any watchers?
right now it
Doesn't
Viewers?
doesn't look like
No.
we have.
That's all right.
Oh, actually, we do. We have one on YouTube right now.
Oh, okay. There we go.
And nothing on Facebook, and Twitch keeps yelling at me for being unstable bit rate. So
yeah. Twitch.
Leave it to Twitch.
Well, Twitch
Yeah.
has, and as a streamer, Twitch has some stuff that I might need to get with you on with that as well too, because there's some setup that in the back end, at least on OBS anyway. But you're probably not using OBS, so
no, not OBS. We're going direct from our mix board.
Yeah.
But I figure we can both do a little pivot here over to Jenny. I'd like to kind of hear some of your thoughts on your pictures that you submitted for this episode.
Oh Lord.
So
Those photos were like shortly after I actually bought the camera. My aunt took me out to the park and we went on like a little street photography walk. So we've got the one of our local bridges
Mhm.
that goes over the river that flows through town.
It's unfortunately named Hangman's Bridge. Yeah,
Yes, sadly.
because
But my aunt wanted me to try perspective where you use like, oh, what's, you use something in front of you to like frame what's behind it. And she
depth
wanted me to use
depth of field.
this,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, as you can see, like the branches in front are blurry, but your focal point is the bridge itself in the background. And it took me a minute. I just whacked the microphone, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a minute in Lightroom to get my editing fixed, which I don't know if this is the raw one or the edited. I can't really tell at this point because they're on my phone and my phone is crappy on
If
making
it's got your watermark, I'm going to assume that it's the edited one. But
well, Chris put that on there when I sent it to him.
Okay.
Yeah, we add the watermarks after the
Gotcha.
fact to make sure that everything is
fair.
But
kept in.
yeah, my aunt wanted me to just try different depths of field and everything, and that was one that I took, and I actually do enjoy that one. For as messed up as the history for that bridge is, it still makes an interesting focal point. And I wish I would have been able to find the one of the water because I got it with ripples in it, and it was so pretty.
One of my senior pictures was taken in front of that bridge.
Really?
Yeah. I had a guitar slung on my back and I was walking down the railroad tracks. Not allowed to do that anymore. Actually, you weren't allowed to do that back then, but
breaking the law
there's
back then.
a lot more. There's a lot more consequence if you do it nowadays, kind of thing. And we'll talk. And we were talking about this before we went live. That might be a episode as well too on the ins and outs of why you can't photograph on railroad tracks anymore.
I mean, my main thought on that would be you don't want to get hit by a train.
Yeah.
Like no.
For as big as they are, they do sneak up on you. So
yeah, they're quite silent until they hit that horn, but
That's
you'll feel it before you see it.
That's the Doppler effect right there.
At least that's what I've discovered because I was a stupid child once and played chicken on railroad tracks.
Oof. Don't do this. We do not condone this.
I do not condone this. I was a stupid kid.
Yeah.
But I think we're all a stupid child at least once in our lives. And the photo Chris just pulled up now, this was under one of the bridges going across the river as well. And I've never really seen a lot of graffiti other than under those bridges. And I just saw the eyes and I'm like, you know what, this would be interesting because you've got so many different colors of paint here. And and going into Lightroom and editing it to really kind of brighten it, but not too bright, not wash it out. It really made it kind of come together, and it's still one of my favorite ones for a test photo. As much as I wish the eyeballs were proportional and the same color, but you know what? Everybody's
that's on the
art
graffiti
style
artist.
is different. And yeah, graffiti artists are interesting.
It's an art form in itself, though, too.
As illegal as it is to be painting on something that isn't yours, but
but there's a whole culture behind it, though, too. And like we might have to have a graffiti artist come on here at some point and pick their brain a little bit, because it kind of runs into kind of the same dynamics of street photography and the legalities of that as well, too, which I mean, I'm putting down a list of all the stuff that we'll be talking about when we get into street photography. Chris, do you have anything that we want to showcase?
Yeah, I've got a few things that we can bring up over here.
Yeah.
I've got, so kind of in line with what we did last time, I brought a couple of my pictures from the trains. And since we're working with bridges, I figured we'll just transition using one of my bridge shots. Most people would recognize this
Oh, yep.
from
That's the one that I know.
yeah, a lot of
Big boy.
people in town
Mhm.
know about Big Boy, but this picture actually had a bit of a backstory. We knew Big Boy was coming to Hayes and neighboring town of Ellis
Mhm.
months before they even started rolling the engine. So we were out, actually, Jenny and I were out scoping out some areas around Hayes before Big Boy was going to
I
come through.
don't think I was with you when you took this.
No, not with no, when I took this.
I
We
don't think I knew you whenever you took this.
yeah, maybe. I
Okay.
don't remember. I think we
Semantics.
scoped out Big Boy though beforehand.
I don't remember that either.
Okay. And then I went out on a different adventure on my own to go visit a friend of mine in Ellis. And I said, "Oh, well, I'm in Ellis. Let me just go take a look at the bridge." And I absolutely fell in love with it. Now, keep in mind, when I was scoping it, it was in summer,
Mhm.
so everything was green.
Mhm.
And Big Boy came through in fall in October, so
Mhm.
everything was going to completely change. And I was hopeful for a really good day.
Mhm.
That, and I was also kind of hopeful that maybe just maybe,
Mhm.
we could be able to get a snowstorm again, and we can be able to work with that. Hold on, I want to change this.
Mhm.
Uh, this is bad when I can't do it myself.
Computer crisis.
Um,
We should hire a producer.
right,
Oh man, I wonder how much he'd charge per hour.
right. Hey, look there. Now I'm on the
There we go.
thing.
Oh look,
Yeah, multiple buttons to change on the computer and everything. Once I get more screens, isn't that always the fact of you
Yep.
need more monitors? But anyway, so we took this trip over to Ellis, and I was hoping that it was going to snow that day. To kind of repeat the last time the train was here,
Mhm.
it actually snowed in Hayes on the morning the train was departing.
Mm.
Sadly, we didn't get that, but we did get to set up. I went from Hayes out to Ellis, and I was the first person to set up on this bridge spot. And I had done everything that I needed to do, talk with the local authorities, got
Mhm.
everything done beforehand, because where I was on a sidewalk on the bridge, and I wanted to make sure that we were able to be there
Mhm.
and everything. They said as long as I didn't block the road, I was fine,
Mhm.
and I didn't. One camera on one tripod right on the sidewalk, they were completely fine with that. So I set up probably an hour and a half before the train even made it to
Mhm.
Ellis. And I also fly drones, so I was able to get the drone in the air as the train came through, and eventually we'll start showing some of those videos as well. But my big thing was making sure I could get the picture with the entire engine and the tender on the bridge,
Mhm.
and we lucked out. We got it. The issue with doing something like this is it's a one shot and done. You can't just ask the engineer to back up and do it again.
Yeah.
So when we talk about those capturing the moments, these are kind of those. And then before all of that, um, I was in Lyman back when Big Boy on its very first, they call it the leg stretch tour,
Mhm.
and they literally just went from Cheyenne, Wyoming, out to Nebraska, down to Kansas, back over through Colorado, back up into Wyoming. It was just, I think it was like a week and a half long tour they took of it, just to be able to see right after they did their repairs. So there wasn't nearly as many people as there are now. I mean, we're talking tens of thousands of people will literally follow this train
Mhm.
around the country just to about get their pictures of
It's like
it.
the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, it is the largest steam engine still in operation today, and it's only because Union Pacific was able to bring it back to life.
Mhm.
But being in Lyman, I figured I wanted to do something as a black and white to kind of bring back the era
Mhm.
that was originally in its heyday.
vintage era,
Yes,
the
very much so.
antique era.
Very much so. So I pulled this image up, and I figured today we can talk a little bit about what we do. Like you did your vignette on
Mhm.
your image.
Mhm.
How sometimes a filter like this can just change the impact
Mhm.
of what it is, because now it looks like it came from that era that
Mhm.
it was in its heyday, and not just a today shot.
Yeah. And black and white and sepia, and what is it? Cross point, I think, or cross process. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head.
I'm
Um,
still trying to get over the sepia. I've always known it as sepia.
sepia, whatever. I don't know.
I've known it. Well, I knew about sepia, but
Hmm.
there's also that like, is that the one that's the dull kind of
The kind of
brown?
brown, yeah.
Oh, I've always seen it as like the paint color Sierra.
Mm, that makes sense. So probably one of those words that you just kind of have been saying wrong the entire your entire lifetime and just
Me
completely
with
forgot.
aluminum, and it's actually
Aluminium.
aluminium,
Well,
and I'm just like,
that's an
excuse
America
me.
versus UK thing. So or
It's like how we
yeah.
spell favorite in
Oh,
color.
but yeah, going into the black and white, yeah. I mean, like that's just a simple train shot or bridge that I came across when I was in the Ozarks, and um, to be completely honest, like I went black and white with this one because I didn't know what else to do. This was in the middle or the end of December. There were no leaves left anywhere. Everything was brown. Everything was, you know,
Gross color.
gross colored and whatnot. So I did a black and white on this one just to make it stand out just a little bit and kind of allow you to catch some definition. But yeah, talking about filters and whatnot. Um, I mean, that's definitely one of them. The other thing too, and the reason why like a lot of street photographers love black and white is because it's a lot more forgiving as well
Mm-hmm.
too when it comes to motion blur and capturing those moments and everything too. And I don't know, but not that's not to say that like street photography is just black and white. It's just that's the reason why a lot of people favor it as
Right.
well too. So and
I
it can
even like using black and white filter on myself sometimes,
yeah.
especially with like, especially if it's like, this would look better this way, and
Hmm.
then you can just change it back if need be.
Yeah.
But
And bringing up street photography, there's a story
ooh,
behind this one. This was in Eureka Springs. That's the Basin Park Hotel, and I captured this one. But I have a second edit or a second crop of this one as well too. That's a little bit more zoomed in, and you could see a figure on the balcony right there. And what happened was that I just got done doing a street portrait session with somebody that I was talking to at that, and I asked them if they wanted to do a portrait session with me, and they did. And as we were talking, I stopped in like mid sentence. I like stopped and took out my camera and shot this shot. Unfortunately, I only had my 85 at this point because I was just doing a street portrait session there, and so unfortunately, I had to like crop zoom this thing in a lot in order to get the person on the balcony. But that was what I was aiming for was to because the previous one was at its full 85
mm-hmm,
millimeter,
mm-hmm.
and then I wanted to zoom in on that one, and I can't decide which one I want or which one I like more.
I Okay, so like personally,
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm one that likes the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, when it comes to like the fine minute detail of wanting a certain subject
Mm-hmm.
for a certain thing,
You're
then
also
I like
way away
the
from the mic on this one.
my bad. I had to stretch. My apologies.
I was gonna say we're losing audio. We're losing
Um,
audio.
I like stuff with the bigger picture. So like being able to see. I would like to see. Thank you. Uh, like with the whole building right there,
Mhm.
which it's just neat because the architecture of the building,
Yeah.
everything. I like old buildings like that, like made of
Yep.
limestone, made of granite. Like if I ever had a chance to go to Greece, you already know I'm going to Athens.
Mm.
Um, but stuff like this with very interesting architecture, like the corner being rounded with kind
Yep.
of like the castle corner windows. And then whenever you get into your zoomed in one,
Yeah.
and your focal point is on the person on the balcony.
When I first sent this to Christopher way back when I sent this to him, uh, I think you said you didn't even realize that there was another subject there until that third or that second crop. And it's the
Mm-hmm.
same picture. It's just I just cropped it in on Lightroom, and I mean that's just the thing. Like with especially with street photography, is sometimes you get to a shot where it's like I could go either way, and I don't know which one. I personally think I like this far out one a little bit more. And maybe it could be something that I can touch up in Lightroom where I can illuminate the subject just a little bit more with that. But again, though, that's like a black and white choice there too, because I had just got done doing a portrait session,
Yeah.
and so my settings were still on portrait session, and I just wanted to quickly grab this because that person was just literally out to like grab a quick puff on their vape and then go back in kind of thing, and I didn't want to miss that moment. And the person that I was talking to, and I still have some shots of them that I might showcase on here as well too. But they were like, I didn't even notice them, and I go, well, yeah, I think I heard somewhere that street photographers are almost impossible to pickpocket because our heads are on a swivel so much. We are just so aware, at least I try to be so aware of our surroundings and
Spatial awareness.
Spatial awareness, exactly. So when we just see, or we try to see things in different places. But I mean, that puts us at our 30-minute mark right there.
Yes, it does.
If we wanted to highlight anything else, we could, or we can just call the test stream there. What do you think?
If I can turn my microphone back on.
Yeah.
I think that we did such a great job for today's deal.
Yeah.
I think that this is kind of where we'll do it for test. I did want to give an update to everyone here. I figured out Twitch.
Yeah.
We got our bit rate.
Hallelujah.
It was a bit rate issue, and I got the bit rate down while we were producing today.
Sometimes you have to cap it in order for it to be like because if you try to go unlimited, it'll try to get greedy and take it all. So
I think next week we're going to do our final test.
Okay.
And after that, everyone will be able to get our new Bokeh and Mocha as a actual podcast.
Yeah.
Because today's audio stream will also be tested by going into the different platforms. We didn't do last one because we didn't have the right recording, but today we did.
There we go.
I see Jenny's over here.
Finger gunning it over here.
Yep. Camera's over here. She's over there.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if both of you would like to send me topics for what you want to talk about, you can message me over Facebook, or I can give you my number so you can just shoot it.
I think probably for episode 1 topic, it might just be like we just go into depth on our photography journey. Not in depth, but like give a overview,
give a bio
of our photography journey.
And for anybody else who's on the stream too,
Feel free to
there's
message.
comments on all of our streams
by
here.
all means, leave questions, comments, stuff that you want to be addressed, especially if there's a topic that you think we should bring up. And I messed with the microphone.
We have a whole roster of stuff that we're going to be talking about, and once we get past the test streams, it'll be a lot more concise, and we'll actually have like an actual direction on where we're going. But right now it's all about the electronics and the technical side of things. But anyway, thank you guys so much for dropping in. If you are still tuned in to the Bokeh and Mocha test stream podcast, and another test stream next week, and then hopefully live after that.
Agreed. I hope.
All right, take
care.
We're
getting closer and closer every day.
Yeah.